Thanks for staying on Fox League and wherever else you are watching or listening. I heard the expression today as happy as a clam. Are we sure clams were happy? Anyway, that's my Sunday thought, Sunday night thought of the night. Sean Ormerod, hello to you.
How are we?
Going well. Nice to iron that shirt there.
I've been in this all day, so apologies for the little crinkle there.
Okay, very good. Rugby League remains undefeated, Joel. We're in a sin bin crisis.
Oh, yeah.
The sin bin crisis, and yet today was nothing short of sensational, both Canberra and at Leichhardt.
Oh, unbelievable. I was driving back from Mudgee and you could just hear the ambience here at Leichhardt Oval. And that ground, we shared this last week on the show, away from that in the Spoon era, they're winning at about 15%. They're in the Spoon era, they just find a way. Positive differential, Leichhardt Oval. Go back and play games there more, please.
Let's not have that argument. They don't make money.
I understand.
They don't make money. I wish that I listened on the radio like you driving in, and it sounded fantastic.
But
and I was envious not to be there.
And it goes to show what you saw at Leichhardt shows what Penrith are missing.
Do you think once they get this flashy new $30 million joint, are they going to lose a touch of the advantage that they've got right now, with it being that rundown?
I think while they've got that hill,
you
they're
just need
fine.
it full. You just need it like Penrith. You just need it humming. Yeah,
I reckon they might just lose a touch.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 out of 3, but that's pretty much run of the mill for us. 2 out of 3. Don't look at me and don't look at the bloke who drove in for Mudgee. Speaking of the bloke who drove in for Mudgee, he had a good week, including this.
We're on the same page here. Jack Whiten. Now, you mentioned the weather, so therefore maybe there's fewer tries in the game. So we're going the almond latte. Jack Whiten first, second. What are you giggling for?
Wow. And why do we call it the almond latte? Because a first, second or third try scorer is different to the first try scorer, which is your full strength coffee. The almond latte, it's your fake milk and your sort of weekend drink. But hey, at those odds, beautiful $8. Thank you for coming.
It wasn't first of the game, was it? It was
second.
It was second. So
second.
Perfect, because you left ruining once you back the almond latte.
Yes.
And they go for the long black. You left ruining that you didn't order the long black.
The
Those are perfect.
The Australian touch football coach, right, is a bloke called Tony Trad. He's a Hall of Famer. He said, thanks for the almond latte today out at
Did
Mudgee.
he?
So good to have your company, Traddy.
Tony Trad, was he the bloke that played in that charity game and sized up to good? No, that was Tony Trim.
Yeah.
That was Tony Trim. I got stories about that game, but I can't reveal them on air. MG's got cracking stories. As I said, 2 out of 3. In the end, it didn't matter because Newcastle... Hang on, before you even throw to this, why do you have so much faith in Newcastle? Because you backed them the week before as well.
I did, yeah. I didn't really bank on them serving up the exact same as they did in the 2 weeks prior, which basically formed my whole reasoning to have that bet. To be fair, the market was with me, and at least they created a few chances in that game. However, 15 errors, once again, which is what they're averaging so far this year. They did that again. They throw an intercept. I think they had 2 or 3 overturned by the bunker. It was very, very close, but sometimes they don't fall your way, Dan. That's punting. And as I said to you out there...
Don't fall your way. That's just... you're putting faith in a team that hasn't fired a shot for a while.
We're getting a pretty big start as well. So,
all right.
But as I said to you, and that just shows the
stubbornness.
The level of my stubbornness, Dan, is I'd probably back it again. There you go.
Yeah, against South in Magic Round. But we did get 2 out of 3. Ryan Pappenhausen, we're not talking about his form enough. He has been in everything. He has never failed to score against South. There's a stat. Really?
Raiders -4.5. They were 3.5. We just missed that. It's important to some, but they're flying. They're absolutely flying.
Can you imagine the excitement if this dingbat actually got it right, of Canberra, our anchor, being 18 down at half-time and then not only coming back to win, but to cover the line?
Trust issues, that's his problem, because he did say on the record, he said, I was that close to making the West Tigers the bet of the week.
Trust issues.
Trust issues.
Yeah.
No.
Did you see you were driving back from Mudgee, so I'm tipping no, but you might have heard it. A tale of two halves, Dan, gets overused. They beat themselves, the Raiders, in the first half. and got points scored on them accordingly. But the game now is all about possession. If you get enough good ball, teams are so hard to defend against. Then it flipped. They stopped giving away penalties, actually held onto the ball, and the Dolphins couldn't get the ball back. They completed 8 sets in the second half. The Finns just couldn't get anywhere near it.
I was on the phones to Clayton for Bremer, right? He was like the Gordon Bombay of the Mighty Ducks, right? Great coaching on the weekend, Clay, well done. But he was saying, Sugar, your best bet's in trouble. It was 28-16. We spoke for about 20 minutes. I get off the phone. And full-time, Raiders have flogged the Dolphins. I went, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
Did you? I think you had an experience I had once, and it was Canberra Dolphins. I had a Canberra Dolphins Saturday afternoon go to Golden Point. I was calling in Bathurst. I think it was Penrith West's Tigers that night. And we're 5 minutes from full-time. It must be all tied up. And I go through the mountains, the Blue Mountains, where reception is lost, and I don't know what's happened. And you sound like you've gone through, well, you're on the phone, but you could have had exactly the same experience. Round 8, a quick one. We can talk about the sin bin all we want. We'll leave that for the other shows. Let's talk from the financial perspective. In fact, a quick one here. I think Latrell should fight that, by the way, because if they've only got him for grade 1 and Fa'alongo is only category 2, are we certain that was direct contact with the head? So I'm only going off the 2 angles we were treated to.
It looked pretty direct.
What happened to
then it should be 4 weeks. If it's either 4 weeks or it's nothing.
I think it's nothing. And what happened to mitigating circumstances?
That's out the door.
That is mitigating circumstances.
There were mitigating circumstances, because I think it might have been 3 or 4, but I think Cam Munster and Craig Bellamy saved Latrell's bacon, because they came out and defended it. They said things happen. He fell. We don't know where Latrell was supposed to go. Now, Latrell's got the sort of track record where you could say, well, Joey Manu, David Norfoluma, the past suggests he probably let out with the arm and was fully committed to the tackle come hell or high water.
I agree.
They saved him.
I agree, but I'm totally with you. I'm with him on this one. That's a complete accident, mitigating circumstances.
I would love him to fight it, because, again, if the bunker's got more angles, then we could be proven horribly wrong. But there is a chance that he hit Fa'alongo on the chest, bounced up, got him in the head. Therefore, sin bin, concussion. But we're working off limited information.
Teams are petrified about fighting charges today, right? Because you very rarely get them overturned. But in this case, it could be your season. If he gets 3 to 4 weeks, it literally could be your season souse. It could be.
Reports Josh Schuster in good touch. Good. So he might just... They're going to need him if he's out, if Latrell's out, because Cody's
Heard
out.
those reports before, though. Looking sharp on the training paddock.
Well, no, he's been playing. He's been playing New South Wales Cup and getting some nice touches.
The same bloke who's got trust issues keeps picking the Knights.
How badly had the doggies blown out after they were humbled in Brisbane?
You know what? They haven't actually moved a great deal. They were $5 to win the comp. They might be $5.50 or thereabouts. Again, we speak about like yin and yang games, I call them, Shul, where everything goes right for one side and then everything goes the exact opposite way for the other side. The first set of the game, when Jacob Preston, who's been enormous this year, slippery conditions, dropped the ball, they score a try off the back of it. There was crossfield kicks, there was everything.
Sorry to cut you off. I just looked up on the app. Canterbury are shorter to win the comp than Brisbane. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Is this one of your hot takes after one performance?
It was the way they were beaten. They were bashed up. That's how the Bulldogs get beaten. How are Canterbury going to beat Brisbane? I'm worried about Canterbury against Canberra in 2 weeks. Because, again, big Canberra mobile forwards, that's the kryptonite for the Dogs. Dogs draw soft as butter. They'll cruise into the top 4, might even be the top 2. But how are they going to go against the big boys? That's my question.
They hadn't left Sydney, had they, prior to this?
No.
Probably not. No.
They hadn't left Sydney. So
the issue now is the carryover. So they've got to deal with they've got to overcome the mental side of that game, being flogged. They now lose Burton. Tupanua's out for a long time. Who's the other one?
How does Tupanua not get sent off for what he did? But anyway, continue. I'm on my...
So now they've got to overcome a few things in the after that flogging, which could prove very difficult for them. However, you want it to happen now as opposed to round 20.
Absolutely.
They're top 4 all day. They are a very, very good side, and I agree with the yin and yang. Everything the whole day it was off them, right? I was so hoping they get beat by 50, not because I don't like the Dogs. I think they can win the comp.
Not the tweet.
I needed them to get to 50 and then go on to win the comp. I need that stat finished.
Why does that bother you?
Because it just...
Let people... Small things amuse small minds.
Put it on ice. It might get a little hat tip later in the show.
All right, let's do this.
Well, he's made the kick important to some.
It was a round full of important to sums, boys. Probably no more important than Doc 75 on the feed as we pull up the bet that Doc 75 had here. A lazy $266 winner. Ooh. Only 8 punters followed the Doc boy in. Now look at the screen. So we've got a couple of sort of notable try scorers there, but he had Bronson Sherry. Why is important to some? 71st minute of the game, Bronson waltzed over when they were getting absolutely lapped.
Yeah.
And then Billy Walters in another game, or the same game, sorry, they were getting lapped. Billy Walters steps up and does this.
Yeah, you're right.
So there might not be any time on the clock when that little grubber goes in. They're winning by what, 30 or 40, whatever it was? Joel Caine?
Can I add to that important to some, that exact same play, because no one's scoring against Sherry. So I had tipped...
Yeah.
I had tipped Sherry to outscore Stags. That's sitting up for Stags. Billy Walters intercepts Stags.
Yes.
So that was important to plenty.
Geez, you did well make that about you. Anyway, go on.
Did he crowbar that?
266 to 1, Sean. You made it about you. Your $2 bet.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
was beautiful,
Well
Joel. The second of Jack White's tries, not the almond latte. This was a little dessert drink he had at the end here. The 76th minute of the game was a roller tape here, 4 minutes to go. Why is it important? Because the Melbourne Storm are winning 13 plus. The game is all but over, and then Jackie Boy steps up and goes, whooshka. This is Sugar's bet, the 1 to 12. When you're threading a needle, you need things like that to happen at the ends of games. That was very, very important to some, particularly when the 13 plus. I had a look at the book. It was about 1/3 of all bets in that market was on the 13 plus.
I don't care for that result because that would have wiped out more people than it would have helped. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't care for that.
It did.
As the people's champion of this show, I don't care for... I don't approve of that, the way you've just expressed that.
And the final important to some, which might just resonate with Joel Caine over here. We see the Robert Derby or Derby, whichever way you want to say it. We need to get confirmation of that. You might actually know.
We've been told Derby.
Derby, but I heard a Derby throughout the week. So this game is all but over. The Cowboys are on 44 points. He goes over, but then we think, oh no, he's actually dropped it. Goes back. Penalty try. 44 to 48.
Yes. Get in there, Scotty.
But what does it
Bailey.
mean? It means he gets the conversion from right in front to go to 50. And why is it important to some? It's important to Scotty Bailey because now we can put a line through the Titans because they conceded 50 points.
That's his baby.
And
Let
Joel
him have
Caine is
it.
clearing up here.
Let him have it. Let him have it. And while he chokes up a storm, fast money time. Right, 30 seconds. You know how it works by now. How do we play the Panthers after last night? Top 8, $2.10. Bottom 4, $7.
Neither. If you're going to play the Panthers at all, you've got to back the champs to win. That's the $2.10. You can't take the $2.10. They won't finish bottom 4. If you like them, just take them to win the comp.
At $7,
$7 is a little
finish
juicy.
bottom 4.
He and his ilk are trying to tempt us. That's a bit of Gouda cheese on a nice little trap.
I don't like Gouda cheese and I don't like going against the
Might
champs.
be allergic to Gouda cheese.
I might be, yeah.
He's allergic to something. All right, well, we sorted that one out quick. They got Brisbane next week. If they lose that, they'll be better than... They won't be $7 anymore. Sean, and I need a decision, not like the first question. How far back should the bunker be able to make decisions?
Well, I don't know of a definitive time, but something about the going back to a previous set like we saw last night with Takiaho and earlier today as well, there was one where it was about 8 tackles, previous set, they go back. Something very uncomfortable about going back that far. If the bunker needs more than 10 seconds to look at it with every camera under the sun, surely that's far enough.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
I like the idea in the trials of going back 15 minutes. I just have that. But you don't get a penalty at the end of it. If they see something, I don't care that they didn't get it immediately. They're going to pull it up anyway. Like, they're going to look for everything at the moment anyway.
With that respect, we've missed. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay. Someone want to ask number 3? No,
I'll ask number 3.
No, you know what? Camera on me. Because this is live television on tape, gone bad. Hey, Dan, Who would you rather be on to make the top 4 out of the Warriors at $4.50 or the Cowboys at $6.50? Well, Dan, that's a great question. I'm going to take the Cowboys, and I'll tell you why. They've got a stack of Townsville games on the way. They've got a neutral game next week against the Warriors. That's why we've put those teams together. They might be 6 now, but then it's Townsville. Okay? They're $6.50. Now, there's 2 things about real men. They eat quiche and they use the cash-out option when it's there.
Oh.
They're going to be a lot shorter than $6.50 in about a month's time. Cowboys to make the top 4.
Is that off a movie or something? Man Eat Quiche?
I don't know. It's one of those things that's like happy as a clam. It's just one of those things that... What does Robinson do with Sam Walker when he returns? I imagine he gives him a hug, Sean, but off you go.
Yeah, he will give him a hug. Well, he returns him straight to the starting side,
Yes.
but the decision isn't as easy as maybe what it was 4 weeks ago. Sandon had the game of his life on the weekend. Hugo Savala, I imagine he'll drop back to the bench like he did when he first was making his debut, because he can still play. Something when you look at him, you go, he can't be a half, surely.
I know.
So I think as his career evolves, you might just see him revert back to a 13 maybe.
$4.50 does seem nice. That's his mate, Trent Robinson, so you know Joel's on $4.50. Who are you more confident, Joel, on getting the spoon out of these 2 teams, Titans and his love children, the Knights?
Yeah. Look, I'll outsource this in a way to Shawnee. You kind of said you think Knights, don't you?
Yeah, well, you need off-field dramas, you need toxic headlines. I think you're getting much more of that from Newcastle than you are the Gold Coast side. How many games have they been in?
Yeah, they're going to win
more than winnable games.
Yeah.
They should be going on with these games and flogging teams, but they're somehow finding a way to lose. I know I was semi-sticking up for the Knights, but I think you can only be on them for the spoon.
They're getting beaten easily in big Sunday showpiece games at home. That's a very bad sign.
And Kalen Ponga doesn't...
He's not happy.
He doesn't look like he wants to save a game for them either, which is a big concern.
Caine's coach's corner with a bit of alliteration, and now it's on here.
Let's go to the press conference, Ivan Cleary. Now, he is talking to only a select few, and the select few are his players. Have a listen to this.
I don't think so, but I guess it is. I don't think it's... The latter doesn't really matter until July or August or something, but I guess it's a talking point, so... You know, we obviously have... When you only win 2 games, you're going to be down there somewhere, so...
I actually liked, if you had to get to watch that back or rewind it, Nathan's sort of looking this way, and then he hears July, August, and his eyes shift like, oh, we've got time. We've got plenty of time. In that same game, Coach's Corner, coaching player of the week goes to Anthony Seibold. Now, this is like a ghost play. Nobody is ready to mark Kohler. Love that.
Beautiful.
Just love it.
I've said this in commentary, the beauty is in the simplicity.
Why don't we see it more often, Shug?
Yeah, I love it. Because they're all marked up correctly,
You know
and then
what?
this ghost comes from nowhere.
That's
It's
easy
beautiful.
for Olakau'atu to just miss his step, and now it's an obstruction. So it's a risky play because you'd only get that a hair out, and that's an obstruction.
It's a Seibold tick. That's his try. Well done.
Well done, buying or selling. Right, opening the batting, Sean Ormerod.
I'm buying the youth of today, Dan. 19-year-old Blake Steep makes a break on Anzac Day. We're going to roll a vision here. And he had arguably one of the greatest Roosters players we've ever seen, Teddy, in the spot that he's been in for the last 15 years, right in the pocket. And Blake Steep just says, no, captain or former captain of the country, state, and my club right now. He just goes, see you, Gutho. I'm going myself. Imagine having that sort of just the audacity to do that, Shug.
But you know, you've got to buy Trent Robinson. The attention to detail with coaches now, they knew that because they went on him twice. Gutho.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Blake Steep will captain the Roosters one day, and I'll make another prediction. He'll be playing Origin within 4 years. Now, that's a bold prediction.
Wow.
Joel, sell.
Selling the draw. I don't know why it's not so hard enough to go, everyone plays each other once, and then you start again. The reason being, now I know the Roosters have beaten the Broncos once and beat the Panthers once, but there's 4 big games you've got to get up for, right? So it can knock your confidence around. It's not fair. You can't have teams doubling up against the same teams within weeks.
Not in the first 6 weeks of the season.
But
That's a debacle.
Why is it so hard to
I don't
just
know.
everyone play each other once, then reset another draw? Why is that so hard?
Well, it doesn't have to be that
it's a
simple.
television schedule.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be this ridiculous. What it is, that we're getting this season.
I think there's bigger problems. What you're saying shouldn't happen. We shouldn't have the Roosters playing Brisbane twice and Penrith twice in 7 weeks. But Manly coming back from Perth and playing on a 5-day break, and to happen again this week, there was a team that had a 5-day breakage on travel. It's something not right about that. Can I buy Joel Caine we are 22 minutes into the show and him not whinging that Penrith are only last on the ladder because of the bye system? I cannot believe he's resisted that attempt. He has, we've got the new television viewers, They don't know the crusade of this man through about 10 years of this podcast has been, don't give points for the byes.
They know about it.
You stood down from the president of the Raider-hating. I have withdrawn my presidency from the bye-hating club.
Nah.
I go to bed at night knowing how moronic and stupid it is, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm at peace.
You had to get that right at the end.
I'm at
That's
peace.
all right.
I'm at peace.
I open the door. We're going to look at the odds and the lines for next week's Magic Round right after this. Get them onside. Gee, it's been a fun couple of weeks. Easter weekend, Anzac weekend, 4-day weekends, or 4-day weeks, 3-day weeks. Now, the worst time of the year today, right now. 5-day week on the way. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I do 5-day weeks, but for all of you, because I'm the people's champion on this show, I pity you and I empathise with you and stay strong. Joel wants to do an impromptu Bambi.
Sorry, Bambi. Let's do this. Magic round, great centrepiece, cannot wait for that. However, can we not sort it out? There's so many grounds up there in Brisbane not being used. We had the rugby there. We've got the Women's Origin coming up on Thursday night. We've got game after game, so much sport there. Magic rounds next week. Why? Protest.
Now, this is breaking news because I didn't know this earlier today. Apparently, drop-in pitch has been ordered.
Yeah, but we don't know that's going to knit or take in time. I'm with him. It's the NRL's fault. When they sign the deal and collect their $5 million or $10 million, they should say, but in the deal, that ground, we will stay off it for the weekend before. It needs to stay clean. Every year we go through this. Rugby League did more damage on Thursday night, I'm guessing, than even rugby with its scrums and its lineouts did on Friday because it was bucketing down during the game. I mean, chunks were coming out. I hope it works. I tell you what the new pitch will do. We won't have people coming off the field looking like the Incredible Hulk because the field is suspiciously painted green after the Friday night games and the Saturday night games, which has happened. Just something to look out for. Someone has green on their leg. Pitch is not going to play well. And I'm filthy that they're putting in the new pitch because I was going to back unders for every game. That was my plan. I told him that. Let's bring up the odds for this week. And what a fabulous round. What a fabulous round with 4 games either pick 'em, 4 games pick 'em or virtually pick 'em, Sean. We haven't seen a round like this all season.
No, and pardon the pun, the awful pun, but this is magic from a betting perspective. Only one game greater than a converted try. The Sharkies have come in a touch. They were 7.5. I think it's about 5.5 now. But one has jumped off the screen. I can't let it go either because it does look very big to me. Which one, Shul?
So therefore, bet now because I don't think it'll jump at this. Gold Coast Titans 12.5. Now you think about their strength is their pack. They're losing Satilli, who's been flying. They're losing Curran, who's been flying. Last week they lost Jack Todd, so they're really getting into their depth now. And no Burton. They scored all the points at Belmore when Burton was off. Take it now, Sean. You agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean, this is if you think Gold Coast can cover.
Yep. Say it. Say it.
Take them head to head.
Head to head.
That's a Sunday arvo. They're much better in the daytime than nighttime. Gold Coast, Canterbury might be just on a downer at the moment.
It's at the 12.5 too.
No. He's going to go 13 plus. He's going to go 13 plus. Now, this is where people lose their minds. West Tigers, I don't believe, after their fabulous win today at Leichhardt, are going to start at minus 0.5 as we're displaying. In fact, we got plus 1.5. It's coming to minus 5. I think they'll 2.5, 3.5 minus.
Well,
do you believe? No,
I can see that for sure.
I just think they're going all right, strangely, despite all the dramas. But anyway, there you go. Do it responsibly. Now, we're back on Thursday. We don't know what time yet on Fox, but big Women's Origin, it's sort of mucked around the schedule a bit. But I'm pretty sure we're definitely on Wednesday on YouTube and KO and our regular podcast. And also, now this is where I'm supposed to do the Sunday special, which is something a little away from rugby league. Now, someone told me, never get into club politics because it's boring. Never get into actual politics because no matter which side you take, you will lose half your audience. I may have said Labor at $2.62 at the start of the campaign, and that appears to be proven correct. If I was going to have an opinion, but I won't, Labor minority, $2.37 is stupid odds. But I wouldn't say that to you because I'm not about losing our audience. Gamble responsibly, do everything responsibly, be it Magic Round, and do it responsibly. See you next time. Get them onside.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.